Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about one of the most fascinating psychological strategies for influencing people and getting them to say yes. It's called the foot in the door technique. Whether you're in sales, marketing, or just trying to get people to comply with your requests, this technique can be incredibly effective. Stay with me, and by the end of this video, you'll understand how to use this method to influence others in an ethical and successful way. What is the foot in the door technique? Let's start by explaining what the foot in the door technique actually is. This technique is a persuasion method where you start by making a small request that's easy for the person to agree to. Once they say yes to that, you follow up with a larger, more significant request. And here's the trick. Once people agree to the first request, they are much more likely to say yes to the second, bigger request. Think about this. A nonprofit asks if you can sign a petition for their cause. After you agree, they follow up by asking for a donation. Because you've already said yes once, you're more likely to say yes again. That's the essence of the foot in the door technique. The psychology behind it. So, why does this work? The effectiveness of this technique is rooted in psychological principles, specifically the principle of consistency and self-perception theory. First, principle of consistency. As humans, we have a natural desire to act consistently with our previous decisions. Once someone agrees to a small request, they want to remain consistent by saying yes to future related requests. It makes them feel logical and dependable. For example, if you've ever agreed to take part in a short survey, and then the next thing you know, you're being asked to buy something or donate, well, you're more likely to say yes because you've already committed. 2. Self-perception theory. This is the idea that when we agree to a small request, we begin to see ourselves as helpful or supportive of a cause. Our self-image shifts, and we want to continue behaving in line with this new identity. By complying with the first request, we unconsciously start to define ourselves as someone who is cooperative. Classic research and studies. Let's take a look at the classic research behind the foot in the door technique. The most well-known study was conducted by psychologists Jonathan Friedman and Scott Fraser in 1966. They wanted to see if people were more likely to comply with a larger request after agreeing to a small one. In their study, they first asked people to put a small sign in their window that said, "Drive safely." Most agreed. A few weeks later, they asked the same group if they would place a much larger, unattractive sign in their yard. Guess what? The people who had agreed to the small sign were far more likely to agree to the bigger sign later on. Their research found that 76% of the people who agreed to the small request also complied with the larger one, compared to only 17% of people who were asked to do the larger task right off the bat. That's a huge difference, and it shows how effective the foot in the door technique can be. Examples in everyday life. This technique isn't just for psychological studies. It's used all the time in real life. Let's look at some common examples of the foot in the door technique in action. 1. Sales. Imagine you walk into a store and a salesperson offers you a free sample. This is the small request. After you've tried the sample, they pitch you the full product. Since you've already engaged with them and taken the free sample, you're more likely to buy the product. 2. Marketing. In digital marketing, companies might ask you to sign up for a free newsletter or a free trial. That's the small request. Once you've signed up, they might ask you to upgrade to a premium service or make a purchase. You're already in the door, and now the larger request doesn't seem like such a big leap. 3. Charitable organizations. Charities often use this technique too. They may start by asking for something small, like signing a petition or liking a social media post. After you've done that, they might follow up with a bigger ask, like donating money or volunteering your time. How to use the foot in the door technique. Now that you know how the foot in the door technique works, let's talk about how you can use it effectively in your own life, whether it's in sales, marketing, or personal relationships. Step 1. Start small. Always begin with a small, easy-to-agree-to request. The key here is to make the first ask something that requires very little effort or commitment. For example, ask someone to subscribe to your YouTube channel or download a free ebook. These are low-stakes, simple actions that most people won't refuse. Step 2. Make the second request larger. Once they've agreed to the small request, escalate to a bigger one. This could be purchasing a product, making a donation, or signing up for a paid service. Since they've already said yes once, they're more likely to say yes again. Step 3. Timing matters. Don't wait too long between the first and second request. If too much time passes, people might forget about their initial commitment, and the technique becomes less effective. Step 4. Stay relevant. The larger request should be related to the smaller one. If the two are completely unrelated, people are less likely to comply because the initial commitment doesn't feel connected. Ethical considerations. Before you go off using the foot in the door technique, let's talk about ethics. It's important to use this technique responsibly. You don't want to manipulate or trick people into doing something they wouldn't normally agree to. If you're using this technique to encourage people to support a good cause, buy a product they need, or improve their lives in some way, that's great. But using it to take advantage of someone or push them into something harmful is not okay. Always think about the long-term relationship and use persuasion ethically. Conclusion. So, there you have it, the foot in the door technique explained. It's a powerful tool in persuasion that works by getting people to agree to a small request first, and then following up with a larger one. Remember the psychological principles of consistency and self-perception that make this technique so effective, and use it ethically in your life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and comment below with how you plan to use the foot in the door technique in your own life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.